morning, folks. This is Digger Does. Welcome back to my channel. Sorry about the scruffy beard. I'm not really trying to grow one out. I'm just being lazy and not wanting to shave, but it'll be gone within the next couple of days. I assure you that. It's about 4 in the morning here, and I know it's a little early to be up and around, but I had some things on my mind and thought I would come on here and share them with you. I have two things I want to go over, and they kind of go hand in hand. There was a conversation I had with a cousin last night over gun control, and then this morning I had a friend bring up the same question, but it's something that person said that made me question how well Americans know not only their government but the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. Because she said this person said that it wasn't their responsibility to question the government. Well, yes, it is your responsibility. If you pay taxes and you vote, then you have every right to question our government. I don't understand where a lot of Americans cannot get that. We are their employers. The people that we vote into office here in the United States, they are our employees. We are their boss. And so it's something we need to get into our heads, America. We are getting ready to vote on two people for the highest office in the land. And we are not paying attention to what's being said and what's being done. Neither one of these people that I feel are worthy of the office. And I'll go into that in another video because I'll go on a long rant on both of them, and I don't want to get started on that. But people, these people are our employees. These two people that are running for office are asking us to employ them. And you really need to ask yourself, are they worthy of the job? So get out there and vote, because I guarantee you I'm going to, because neither one of these people need to be in office, I assure you that. But I digress, and we'll get off of that, and then I'm going to move on to the issue of gun control. Now, yesterday on Facebook, I posted something in regards to how our president will act over this Orlando thing. Will he become more hardline on ISIS, or will he be soft as he has been the last 8 years on ISIS? Personally, I think we should go there and obliterate them suckers after what they've done. We've allowed not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, but 6 attacks on U.S. soil by ISIL. How many more attacks on our country are we going to put up with? I don't know, but something needs to be done on that regards. Okay? Now, already people are lining up that we should ban this, we should ban that, so on and so forth. Okay, I'm going to cover that in a way that's historically correct in regards to gun control and the Second Amendment. Folks, you got to remember, the men who wrote the Constitution were embroiled in a war with a tyrannous regime, and that was England. At the time, England was the most powerful country in the world in the 18th century. They had their hands in almost every country in the world. Okay, they owned a lot of land. And at the time, Britain was embroiled in the 7 Years' War. Part of that war was the American Revolution. So when they wrote the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, this was what they had in mind, dealing with a tyrannous country. And when they wrote it in a context to where it would protect future generations from having to deal with this as well. The Second Amendment does protect our right to bear arms. And it was a way to make sure that the citizenry, all citizens of the United States, could protect themselves against foreign powers or domestic that are trying to hurt our country. But also, and this is what people fail to see, you got to understand that when they wrote this, they were also thinking about our own government that they were establishing. They made a context in the Constitution that states if our government is doing something we disagree with, then we have the right to change our government. Not just by vote, but armed response as well. And you're asking, what do you mean by that? Well, the Second Amendment makes sure that we keep our government in check by reminding that government that the citizens are armed. And if they want to stay in power, they need to do what we want, what we ask them to do. And lately here, Americans are failing to do that and letting the government know, hey, this needs to stop. And I'll give you a good example of how this works. Switzerland has been a democratic country for nearly 900 years. And the way they've been able to maintain that is they make sure that their citizens are well armed. Okay? They spend every able-bodied Swiss citizen is required by law to spend at least 1 year in the army. That means they get trained on how to use the weapons that they're going to be given. And many of these folks remain a part of the Swiss military 20, 30 years down the road. And these weapons that they're giving, they keep at home. Right, they're given to them by the government to keep at home, to protect themselves against foreign and domestic powers. And it's something here in America that we really need to pay attention to and maybe institute here as well. But remember, the Second Amendment is to provide not only arms for citizens, but to create a standing military to protect against domestic and foreign powers. And I hope I've explained it well enough for you all to understand this, because folks, we're living in a time that we really need to pay attention to what not only our government is doing here, but across the world as well. Because right now, we're sitting in a position to either finally deal with this foreign problem that is causing problems here, or are we just going to sit back and let it keep happening? Folks, I hope you really take this to heart. This is Do Good saying do good and deuces. Bye-bye.